this crowded, noisy, oversaturated world, we're all trying to create and deliver meaningful value to our prospects, to the marketplace, and to the street. If you're frustrated with the lack of response that you're getting from your audience and the world in general, I have a secret that I'd like to share with you that's rapidly becoming the primary driver for all business outcomes in this crazy place. Hi, thanks for listening. My name is Bob Barry, and I'm a researcher, inventor, and speaker for some of the world's top high-tech companies. Google, Amazon, HP, Facebook, FedEx, many others. I've been doing this since the dawn of the web in the early 90s, when I led the teams that launched some of the world's first e-commerce, social media, e-learning, and cloud-based services. Of course, none of those terms existed back then, but we had a lot of fun inventing that stuff anyway. I am here to enlighten you and business professionals around the world about a powerful human dynamic that you're probably not even aware of. And that hidden dynamic is the theme of this short video, and it's at the center of everything that I do. And why is that? Why am I talking about this hidden dynamic, this invisible phenomena? Because it's what actually drives everything about your business. It launched the next age of civilization, and it drives the entire global economy. So, hopefully I have your attention. The mastermind forums that I lead and the proprietary business processes that I teach reveal business critical insights that are based on this invisible dynamic. And those insights are available only through those methods that I teach, that I work with those top companies on. So, would you agree that in business, all that we are trying to do is centered on creating value that we hope to exchange for fair compensation? Am I right? Isn't that what it's all about? The surprising truth is that this mysterious dynamic that I'm speaking of is at the center of all forms of fair compensation. It initiates, it drives, and it's responsible for every transaction, every customer interaction, every marketing program, every business endeavor possible, every single one. Now think about that. That means that the entire global economy is driven by this simple, invisible dynamic. This dynamic drives all those individual transactions, and the entire global economy is the sum total of those transactions. That's why this is so important. But again, here's the problem. That dynamic is hidden. It's invisible. And most professionals, most businesses look right past it because it's so basic, so fundamental, and so simple. But the Googles, the Amazons, and the Facebooks don't look past it. They focus on it intensely, and it drives millions to their bottom line. It's at the center of their success. I work with those companies regularly using methods that I've learned over 2 decades and that I teach in my mastermind programs, and I can now share those methods, those insights, and those processes with you. Okay, here's a vivid example. There are now more mobile devices on the planet than human beings. And they are all connected. And they are now far more common than the laptops and desktops that used to dominate. But there's still plenty of these around too. These little panels of glass are the windows through which all your carefully crafted, deeply invested business goals must flow. And anything that can possibly happen with these devices is driven by this invisible dynamic that I speak of. Do you know what people do with all those devices? Do you know how your prospects find you, understand you, care about you, engage you, get what they need from you, and hopefully pay you? Do you know what happens at each one of those steps? Do you know what determines what happens at each one of those steps? And make no mistake, all of those steps have to happen for you to get paid, for you to get your fair compensation. Now, we all know that everything has gone digital, and these billions of electronic devices represent the next stage of man. But how did we get here? And where are we going? Did you know the internet has existed since the late 50s? That the web was invented in the early 80s? But none of us knew about those until this mysterious dynamic that I'm referring to changed the scene entirely in 1993. And then the internet and the web and the next stage of civilization was launched overnight. Here's another example. Smartphones actually existed in the early 2000s, but they didn't explode across the world until 2007. That's when this hidden dynamic changed mobile devices forever. It led to the entire world becoming connected through all these pocket-sized supercomputers that we carry around in our pockets. That's the impact that this hidden dynamic has had on the past. Pretty significant. And soon, in the future, almost every aspect of your entire life will become dominated and defined by this powerful hidden dynamic. Communication, transportation, entertainment, education, business, finance, healthcare, your home, your job, and virtually everything else. It's already happening all around you. But do you know how this hidden dynamic works? You can bet your competition is working on that. And this future that I'm describing is going to swallow up everybody who is or could potentially be your customer. Every single person that you want to reach, influence, get a response from, and get your fair compensation from. And that is the key. All of those are real people with real lives. Every one of them is deeply embedded in this invisible dynamic as they play out their personal stories, as they work out their needs, their passions, their desires, and their consumption. What those billions of people do within this invisible dynamic is money for you. And it is all entirely hidden from you. But I can help you uncover your truth. I've perfected a mastermind system and proprietary methods that reveal this invisible dynamic and its critical truths. And that knowledge, those truths, is not available any other way than through these methods. I work with the best companies because they want to reveal and master this mystery. They actually compete for my attention so they can have these insights. I regularly get designers, developers, marketers, and top executives at these companies to say, "Oh my God, I had no idea." And then I help them decide what to do. I can teach all of this to you and your teams and your company because those best companies in the world spend millions to figure out what's going on with this hidden dynamic and how it impacts them. And even better, I'll do the initial steps for free, but only if you're willing to give me something very small in return. All I ask is just 15 minutes of your time. In that quarter hour, I'll reveal some of the same approaches I use with the most successful companies on the planet. I'll reveal this hidden dynamic that I'm talking about and the power it has over your results. And through that process, we'll identify how to remove the barriers to your success, just like I do with Google, Facebook, Amazon, Hewlett-Packard, and many others. All you have to do is submit the form below to find out what this mysterious dynamic is and whether it's working in your favor or against you. I'll contact you to schedule your personal one-on-one, and it's all free.